First of all, good evening to everyone who's present here. Today, as we all are here for this workshop, this is the very first workshop that we are having at Toolfe. And the topic, as it says, how teeny automations create massive impact, episode one. So, definitely, there will be having more. But to start over with, this is the perfect topic we could take up. And now, why this topic? Since we know that automation is reshaping the way we work, save time for us, and also reduce repetitive stress. So, definitely, this is a very impactful topic to begin with. And we have Jeffrin with us. So, he is the speaker for the day, our very own CEO. Welcome, Jeffrin.
Thank you, Shalvi. Glad to be here.
Firstly, Jeffrin, let us start. Many people think that automation needs to be, big to be effective enough. So why do you think even a small automation can bring such significant change, and why should companies start small in the very first place?
Firstly, many people believe automation has to be big and complex to be valuable. But I would say that's a myth. In reality, the biggest time waster inside the company are not massive processes. It's tiny repetitive actions people do every day. Copying data, validating fields, sending reminders, or maybe checking numbers and etc. So this is silently draining hours of productivity from the teams. When we automate even small part of these routines, people stop doing robotic work and start doing meaningful works. So those saved minutes, let's say it's multiplied across employees and across months, then you have a great number, which is great result. So and I would say starting small is smart. You don't need to have a bigger capital or approvals or any risk, greater risk associated with it. You automate one small workflow and see the real impact immediately, then building confidence, and then you repeat the exact process. Over time, many small automation together create like a huge transformation on how companies usually operates. So, because when one tiny automation delivers real efficiency, people start to see what's possible. That ripple effect expands across teams and processes inside the company, and over time, the company becomes more productive, more agile, and truly future ready. All started from a small, tiny automation first step.
Interesting, interesting. Okay, so could you also share one example of a small automation that's already in use at Toolf and has created a significant impact on the way we work?
Correct. Great question. So we have made a lot of automations inside, and from the day one, we plan to automate the process that we were currently doing. So employees no need to worry about any of the manual or some tasks that they have to currently, record to do. So a small automation that we planned it for an expense automation. If there is any expense that is happening inside the company, sales department or any technical department, they used to report to the sales department, and he used to just fill a form. We created a form for him, and any request can be coming through the form. Once the form is there, the request will be sent to the sales department once the form is filled. For example, if there is a new tool request from the team member or a client side. So let's say it's a Figma premium, and the team is expecting that to make the productivity more. So there might be a lot of requests, something like this, and it's definitely very hard for us to track it. Not so much request, there is a lot of priorities. This is one of it. Some place we have to like keep it for a book record, and we have to track the status whether this is done or not. And for a longer term, we have to make it structured too. So thinking of that, we thought this is a small automation, we don't need to care about it. And we were doing that process, and we heard some delays that okay, this is there, and eventually we forgot it. So the request was there, and we got it through a Teams chat, and eventually we forgot everything. And then after some 1 or 2 months, there was another request saying that we have requested 2 months back, we didn't get it. Then we planned for this quick automation, and that the form was created, and they used to just directly fill the form, what was the request and what was the amount that they are expecting, that a per month or per year or is a one-time fee, and they used to just fill those information. And then once they fill and submit it, directly it will be sent to the sales, the person who's handling the finance currently. And once he approved it, then it comes to me and we just approve it. Once the approval has happened, then the sales department guy will be releasing the fund, and he'll be purchasing that and giving it to the team. So this process was trackable. This process has the versions in, we maintain SharePoint. That's the major database that we are handling for internal purposes. Every record, every approvals, every process was mapped on SharePoint, and we know what was the pending one and what was not, what was completed. And we also were tracking the subscriptions just with that one list. So the list took us like we have heard from the developer. List took us like 2 to 3 minutes or 5 minutes to create. And the power apps, that was like close to 1 or 2 days, and it's not complex form, as I said before. And yeah, this process and the approval process took around 3 days to complete. So within a week we have completed this. And recently we were using it, we started using it, and we started to get response, and it's going good. And this definitely saves us a lot of time, not in terms of expense management, in terms of the resources, the additional resource subscriptions that we are managing. So this significantly reduces our time and efforts. And even we can obviously have the bookkeeping sector. That's also an important part. Bookkeeping, we can, whenever we need to go to find a request that is there, we can just go to that list, and we were tracking it perfectly there. That reduces our time, and that was making our process even standard.
Great, great to know this. And this also catches our more of interest. Uh, would definitely love to know if there are any automation initiatives we are currently working on that you believe will shape the future of how we operate. Something still in progress, but with a lot of potential, of course.
So yes, one interesting automation that we are currently working on, and the research team is currently working on, is onboarding automation. So we do have a, a certain milestones or a process that needs to be completed before we onboard an employee. So for example, we have to create accounts for them. We have to create uh, your credentials, and we have to map it, provide proper license for them. And also we have to uh, once that is done, we have to add them in the respective groups. We have mandatory groups that everybody needs to be there. We also have groups which specific to the department. We have multiple groups like this. So they have to be there inside. They have to have a proper title description of the job title, everything. There should be an automation that runs, and it automates all these processes on onboarding. So if a new employee is hired, there will be a form. They have to fill the form, job title, description, and the groups. Automatically, it will show these are the mandatory groups. These are the other groups that we have. And if they choose, these are the groups that they have to additionally add. We'll quickly add those things too. And once they hit submit, so that form will be automatically sending an HTTP request, which is API side. They will be sending an API request to the Microsoft server, and a license will be created, added user will be added, and respective groups will be added, security groups will be added, and respective power apps. We do have some power apps internally. We also plan to give access to them, to the power apps, public power apps and private power apps. We can also, that form also has some handy tools, like it will show these are the mandatory areas that they have to be. Even they can wish to uncheck those areas too. With just that one click, all these things will happen. Access to the places, access to SharePoint list, access to the groups in Teams, access to any documents that needed, and onboarding documents, onboarding kit, everything will be combined and complete, and it will be sent to the uh, the employee who's newly onboarded, newly hired, and he will see all the areas that this is the areas that I have got access. This is the areas that I can go here for doing this and doing that. Everything he can see in just one document or in the email itself. And yeah, this I hope this significantly saves time, because some cases we are missing, some companies, even us, we used to miss to add them in a specific group, to add them, give them required access. Each time they have to request, and then we have to give access. They will say, we don't have access to this SharePoint list, and that creates a problem in later times. That reduces the productivity. Even they don't know which person is the right person to get access for this one. So to reduce all those things, we are planning to do this. And we definitely plan to also implement the same thing in many companies, because this is not just the problem that we are trying to solve in our company. We are also trying to solve in all other companies. So, yeah. So this is one good initiatives that we are planning. This reduces a lot of efforts. I think as a talent acquisition partner, you can sense it. Shall we? That's it.
Absolutely. The moment you were telling all the things, I could relate to it, that yes. But amazing to hear that we are working on this. Really great. Okay, so I'll take you a little back in the time and would make you focus on something that you can share an example of a small automation we have implemented for a client that made a noticeable difference. Something simple, but that truly reduced effort or added value for them.
Sure, sure. So I can say the example that I said before, and there was a client where we were doing some small marketing related works before, and we have to send a report to them each month and each week. Each week there is a report, each month there is a report. Each month, it's a consolidated document of each week's report. So definitely there will be uh, some insights, some numbers, some screenshots, everything there will be there inside. And yeah, so we were doing it each week. We have a the client has set an SOP where we have to send it on Friday 12. Every week, Friday 12, we have to send a report to the client. And yeah, uh, initially that process was done by our analysts. They were doing it very perfectly. And some cases the data, they might miss the data. Some datas might not be there. It's a consolidated Excel file. So 3 to 4 different Excel files will be there totally. And that Excel will be not just like a static Excel file. It will increment day by day. Each day we get a result. They will add those things inside. And yeah, so it's a AI based project. So a marketing AI based project. So each time a new data is there inside, we used to add a new row there. And each week we have to send a report on the progress of what we have done. So this process was going smooth until there was an error in the report. Some Excel, some data, some cases, something it was missing. So we have to actually take the data until Thursday and consolidate everything on Friday, and we have to send it. So it should be a data from Friday till Thursday. Friday till Thursday. This is the weekly report that we are planning. Once the error is there, when then we found, okay, this is something that is happening often, and this is something that is happening. There is some errors while we are doing this. Plus, it's definitely taking some time. The analyst reports that it will take around 2 hours to complete that report properly, because he has to also beautify it once you have to consolidate all these Excel files together. So we planned it, and we planned like a quick automation. It was an idea from the team that they have said, maybe we can create a quick automation that takes all these values from the Excel file. The date will be there for in a column. Take all these values and put it in a separate Excel file, and then take that data, consolidated data, and create a report based on that. We mostly use automation tools, which is Microsoft based automation tools like Power Automate. It We have connectors there, so it puts inside a Word document. It creates all the data, puts everything inside a table, and it converts it and put it inside a Word file, and that Word file will be converted into a PDF, and it renames it automatically, and then it sends an email to the client and also to us, 2 emails. So that's how we get it. So before we send it to the client, first email will be received to the analyst, and there will be an approval workflow there. Once they click approve, then that will be sent to the client directly. So the analyst will be checking the document, whether everything is perfect, every report is there, and there is no errors. definitely we have like zero errors after we implement this automation. Then after all these things, they will just quick check like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then you just hit approve. It goes to the client directly. No errors, no problem so far, because that creates a report before like 30 minutes, which is 11:30. We get a report. Within 12, he used to just approve it, and it will send to the client directly. This eventually it's like 100% accuracy. No doubt about that. We didn't find any errors after that, and that process was going in a very smooth way because notification was also coming from Teams chat, and also we also getting from the email for the analyst, and for the client will be directly sending it to the email. So there is no way for this, and this automation, this specific automation, took us like just same 1 or 2 weeks to complete fully to move to production. And while we are testing it, we are really happy because it's perfect. It's working good, and 0% error. Plus, it saves like at least 2 hours on that Friday for the analyst. So this is one of the automation that we try to implement on the client side to enhance their process, and it was something that is noticeable.
Again, it's pretty wonderful to hear that we have done a great job and the client was definitely happy. Okay, so Jeffrin, now moving towards the end, I have one last question for you, and then we'll have a Q&A session for everyone. Okay, so lastly, please take us through the metrics or the indicators that you use to decide whether an automation is truly successful or not. How do you do
Okay,
that?
perfect. So to make sure an automation is working perfectly, and either it can be an RPA or BPA, any automation or cognitive automation, if it is running successfully, we can obviously measure through directly. If I'm saying, or if a people, a general audience, are directly seeing it, they have to see the result. That's the major thing. If you're seeing the result, yes, the automation is running perfectly. In terms of running, you have the result in mind. That's the KPI that you have to see. We have other metrics. Even some cases, developer also have to see many metrics, not just small areas. So I would say majorly on the leadership side. So if you are owning an automation, and if you are planning to implement an automation, you can directly measure that automation through some metrics that we have. So measure the time that you are saving through an automation. Compare the old process that you have done. Let's say your employees trying to complete a invoice processing, and each invoice is taking like 5 minutes of time. Then calculate it for total invoice that is processed through a month or a single day, and then you compare that. You have automated this part, and once after automating, run this automation and see how much time it's taking to complete these 1 day automation, the manual automation that you have planned to you're currently doing, and compare it with the automation that we have built. So now you have two different numbers. You have the number of the process that you are currently doing. Let's say it's 5 hours, and you have a different number with the automation result is provided. And this would be significantly low. Comparatively, you can say like 2 to 3%, which is around uh, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Within 5 to 10 minutes, it has completed the day of invoice processing, manual invoice processing. So this is the different number. So this is the main comparison that you can say. And second way, you can also say which way, uh, for example, uh, manual process would be done. So how much manual efforts has been reduced through this automation? You can also compare it in that way. That's also one example. Plus, you can also actually, these automations are relatively indirectly contributing towards the employees' happiness too. So there is a statistics of even this part. So most of the employees were not happy on doing work repeatedly on the same work doing repeatedly. They are not happy. Not they are plan. They wish to have some work which is creative. Not everybody, I would say, but most of them. So we also can see the satisfaction of the person who is currently handling. Previously, he was doing it manually and he was reporting it at the end of the day. Now he's just doing a click of a button. It's doing his process, and he is getting a report. He's just validating it, and he's proceeding to the next task that he have. So even the employee or the person who's handling that process manually, that his satisfaction is also a very important key factor. And for the business, the cost reduction. Previously, this process was taking me a direct and indirect costs combined. We have to definitely consider all these costs, direct, indirect, all these costs we have to combine, and we need to identify which how much cost this process is taking. And right now, how much cost this is taking? The automation, I mean, usually the automation maintenance cost is very low. So we can compare the cost. Let's say it's maybe this cost is around $1,000 to maintain monthly, and this cost is like maybe $50 or $100 to maintain monthly. So this is a significant cost reduction. Even you can also consider this. And final success rate, I would say, is adoption rate. Not all the automation is adopted. So if you are making an automation very perfectly, then there is a very higher chance that companies will adopt it. So adoption in the sense, an employee who is currently doing the process can actually think that this automation really helps, and he will believe that this has no error, then he will adopt it. Adoption rate, the process is also different. Adoption process is different. So if an employee is willing to do it, he's trusting this automation, and he really thinks that this automation could definitely significantly improve his current process. Then that satisfaction is also a success rate.
Okay, great. So great insights from you, Jeffrey. Uh, I'll switch the Q&A section. What advice would you give to employees who are just starting their automation journey?
That's great. Yeah, this most companies doesn't say, but I used to recommend would be, yeah, you have a process. You have a process that you're currently doing, and you are doing it in a daily way. And I would recommend to think about what are the areas that I can probably automate or enhance. Don't stick to what you are currently doing. Let's say you are doing same invoice processing or any documents that you're preparing daily in a daily basis. Let's say you are uh, planning to, I mean, each day you prepare a document in maybe Word or an Excel, and you are trying to beautify that document and you'll be sending it to the client. This is a small process. Think about what you can actually reduce the time, because you have an efficiency, you have a unique way of doing it. You have to train it to the bot, and bot will do. Not all we have to think about a bots. Not everywhere that we have bots. We have a lot of features in what tools that we are currently using. So if you just go outside of what areas that the process that we have currently, we can find the path of the areas or the features that we can leverage that reduces significant lot of time. I've heard a lot from the past employees saying from other companies too. So they used to, for 6 to 7 years, they used to have a process. They used to only loop through all the process that you have. But the product, for example, a product, let's say Figma or Excel itself. So previously Excel, let's say they don't have macros inside. And all these people were currently for 6 to 7 years, they were doing all these things, adding it, modifying it, beautifying it, and then they will save it, send it to the company. So beautifying all these things will take around, uh, let's say 5 minutes or 20 minutes or 1 hour of time. So maybe you can think of just moving your cursor towards the macro section. And if you go to macro, you can record what you're currently doing. And then once you record, you can just run it instantly. It will do the magic for you. So automation is everywhere. You can just not look about, I mean, just not stick to what the process that you're currently doing. Think about leveraging the features that was there in the existing app, or think about the way that we can quickly automate or quickly move from 1 to 10 immediately, or 1 to 50 immediately. Then we have 50 to 100 to move slowly. So that's something I would recommend. Think about out of the box. Turn your process little outside. That's something I would recommend. But it's a great question. Thanks, Aaron, for that.
Okay, we do have a Q&A coming from Ajit. He's asking, how will automation impact jobs that are currently performed manually by employees? And to what extent might it replace human roles in the future?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. This is the hot topic, I would say, for the
Mhm.
last 1 year. Yes. So automation impact is great. That's happening. That's happening a lot, and that's happening almost all the digital works that we were doing for the past 20 years. And these automations are definitely improving a process in one side, and also it's also capturing some of the works from others. So yes, in and the good thing about us would be we also create an automation, and we definitely do process mining in the beginning. And once we do a process mining, we also recommend, we know the process that currently doing, and we know who are the employees that is handling that process currently. And once that automation is done, or we will before that also we'll give them a report. We call it SOP, or some documents will provide to them, and even process mining document will provide to them. We would mention a word there, what is the other areas, the next process, because companies operate with process. And if an employee is skilled at one place, and if the employee is capable of doing the next stage of work, then his job role will be shifted to the next role. So to secure this area, I would say, if you're currently doing a process, discuss with the seniors and know the next process, what they are doing. So now you have two areas. If you have this, let's say this process is getting automated, now you have superpower to add the next process inside your side, and you have the skill to actually accomplish other tasks too. So to dodge this, it's obviously consistent learning is very much needed, and always don't stop learning. And there is many areas that automation cannot replace humans. And yeah, it's not like all the process can be replaced. No, human touch is needed. And recently, even uh, some predictions is happening, like, okay, most of the process will get automated, and we are in the automating AI era. So this phase of our life would be mostly automated. Even robots has been like superpower right now. Even many companies are moving towards the AI robots, physical robots. So everywhere automation is going to create an impact, but I would say without a human touch, the automation can't do it perfectly. And without if you are stop learning, we are going to expire. So never stop learning about what we are doing. If you are doing the current process, try to know about the next process. Try to also know about the future process that the company is doing, and understand it. And that's how we can like secure our spot in this era. And think always out of the box, never stop learning. That's the, I would say, the perfect answer for uh, Ajit from my side.
Great, great. So knowledge is the only power. Simplest.
Yes,
Great,
exactly.
great. Perfect, perfect, different. Okay, so do we have any other Q&A coming in? Yes, yes. So he's saying, be honest, has any automation ever scared you by doing its job too perfectly?
Mm, yeah, I would say for like a past couple of years, I would say around 4 to 5 years, I'm very good at process mapping. So I would say that's a very strong skill that I had before. And yeah, that skill was like super power for me, that I can like immediately map all the process. I can sense what process the company is currently doing and map it in immediately in a whiteboard or something. That's a superpower that I had previously, but yeah, I recently found many AI tools that was doing better than me at that spot. Yes, that literally scared me, because that's a superpower, that one superpower that I had, and I feel that AI replaced, or it's doing better than me currently. So which means I even have to rely on that right now. So that's something that was scary, because that was something that I had in it. Now it's not more anymore.
Okay, okay, okay. All right, great. So any other questions? Because I can see that is all we have for the day. coming in from all the attendees. Okay, so I think we can wind it up.
Sure.
Right. And for everyone, we are going to have a workshop every month. So this was the first one. I hope everybody um, liked it, and definitely it was pretty much knowledgeable, very much knowledgeable. And also, we'll have a new workshop coming next month with fresh new topic, more knowledge, more content, right? And we'll keep improving, keep doing better. That is all I would say. Thank you everyone for coming, and thank you, Jeffrin, for bringing in all the content and everything that you've shared. It was great.
Thanks, Shalvi. It was a wonderful meeting. Thanks,
Great.
everybody.